We're going to check this one out from Roy. Let's get it.
Check it out, yo, one day we all die. I gotta survive, that's why I'm sipping on immunity. I sip on alive, and you know I'll be the best. You want some kombucha? You gotta go and grab some GTS. You know what's next on this conquest, spitting from the flesh. You know I get on content creation, you know that's my plan. I'ma do my thing, I'm the man. Give it to the poor like Peter Pan. Check it out, yo, I'll be making content with Ray-Ban. That's what we doing when it comes to the music and the flow. And you know I'm on top and I'm rich, so you know I'll be sipping on the Voss. That's the water that I'm sipping. People gon' be tipping. Listen to me, man, I'm equipped with equipment. Hey, yo, yeah, you know I do it very well. You know me and Harry Mack about to kill it. You know we do this big in this live. Yo, check it out, I quit in the 9 to 5. Every single day, man, I'm sipping on the lion's mane. In this form, Mortal Focus is insane. Check it out, and then I put cologne her mane.
Hey, all right. Hell yeah. Shout out to Roy. Shout out to Roy. We hit him with that hard ending like the end of the D'Angelo record. That was fire. Okay, sick, man. Dope submission. Killing it, bro. Love how you're pulling in all the objects around you and incorporating them into what you do. I mean, that's a classic, freestyle routine. So really dope to see you doing that and challenging yourself to prove that it's off the top of the dome as well, and not something that you had written out or pre-memorized ahead of time. So that's sick. I love the opening line. You went right into like some meaningful shit. You were like, yo, one day we all gonna die. I think that's the first thing you said. One day we all gonna die. We gotta stay alive. Yeah, run that back.
Check it out, yo, one day we all die. I gotta survive, that's why I'm sipping on immunity. I sip on alive, and you know
yeah, that's sick. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude, jumping right in on some meaningful stuff like that, and then of course like tying it back into the name of the drink, which was Alive. And that was just a really cool example too of working backwards, right? Like the drink is called Alive, and so that's your target. And we talk all the time. I talk often about setup punchline, which is just working backwards from a target, right? You know you're going to end up with the drink that's alive. That's what's pinging all of this. And but that was a really great example of it because you didn't just say something random that rhymed with alive. Like, yo, on the mic, I got to strive. Out of this bottle, I be sipping the Alive. That would have been cool. But you actually talked about things that relate to being alive or not being alive. Like one day we gonna die. I got to find a way to survive. So I'm sipping on this thing called Alive. Like that's dope, man. That's the goal, is to do a setup punchline couplet that actually like the whole thing is integrated together and not sort of like disconnected or cut and paste. So that was sick, man. And then pulling in references all throughout. I heard a couple little hiccups, like I think when you said equipped with the equipment or something like that, felt like maybe there was it didn't necessarily quite come out how you had intended it. That's what I perceived. If I'm wrong about that, my apologies. But that's how it seemed on my end. It was just like a slight mental hiccup there. Still came out. I still heard what you said. I'm equipped with the equipment, which made sense and worked. But I thought you recovered from that nicely and got back into your flow, like without too much time lost, which is a really important skill in improv that I've talked about before as well. Like we don't want to ever get hung up on our mistakes. And basically the quicker you can forget about it and move on. Honestly, it ties back to what I was telling Dude about how to stay consistent with meditation. It's like it applies in freestyle and it applies in life. It works at the micro and it works at the macro. Like when you fall out of the pocket, don't waste any more time thinking about how you fell out of the pocket, because the next bar is coming. You gotta serve this moment. As an improviser, I'm constantly trying to serve this moment, which is the only moment that we have, is this moment, right? We're never living in the past and we can't project into the future. We can only live right now. And I thought you did a good job of that, man. A couple little slight hiccups, nothing major. And, it didn't even break your flow. You got right back into it and kept things moving. So yeah, that was dope. Pulling in the lion's mane. I mean, I would say just, you already have a great foundation. I'm trying to think what I can provide in terms of like something constructive. You might try, working on pulling in more kind of like metaphors and sort of like wordplay things. So I'm trying to think like how we could do that. Like, what were some of the objects? He had lion's mane. Oh, the Ray-Bans. That
was the other one.
That was the other one. The Ray-Bans, the lion's mane, the Alive. So yeah, I mean, thinking about, and you can practice this not while you're freestyling, right? You can do this as a whole separate exercise, like you can pause the game and then do this exercise where you could think about like, what's the cleverest thing I could say about those objects? So like Ray-Bans, like what could you say that would be clever about Ray-Bans? Like in a lot of my freestyles, when I'm rapping about shades, I talk about throwing shade. Like at other rappers, I'd be throwing shade like Ray-Bans. And that's not anything that's going to like, oh my God, wow. Like that's not earth shattering at all. But it's a little bit more it's a little more interesting lyrically, right? Because there's some wordplay in there. I'm talking about throwing shade and then Ray-Bans are shade. But what's something even more clever? What's another way that you could work with it? Like maybe there's something you could do by breaking the words apart or so like just Ray, rappers blind like Ray Charles, but I got the Ray-Bans. My flow is radiant, spit rays, burn sand, sharp like a razor, or Ray and band. What could you do with that? Like, I burn MCs. I'm the motherfucking man. My flow's illegal. My rays should be banned. So like something like that, right? And if you practice thinking about those things outside of the context of a live freestyle where there's too much other stuff to think about, right? But you just sit there maybe with a pen and paper, you write down some of your best ideas. These are just things that add so much texture and flavor to your freestyle. And the more you think about them outside of the context of a freestyle, the more likely they are to seep into your actual freestyles. And you'll think of them in the moment when you're rapping about the thing. So that would be my advice, is to put some effort there. But great submission, dog. Appreciate it.